Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of The Reality Show Girls
with Whitney
and Eleni.
Yes.
And we're hungover.
We are hungover.
We're hungover.
And
it's fine.
We're surviving, but honestly, I think that's today has made me realize I don't want to drink anymore.
You want to be a sober girly?
I think it's time. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think about that too on these days where I'm just like trying to like do things and it's like I'm not bouncing back the way I should be.
I was never able to bounce back. So
there was a time where I could bounce back. I think it's also my mental state because I know like at the bachelorette party, like I was there every single night and I can do it every night. I mean, obviously at some point like I got to rest, but like one night like that and I'm like out like as if I could never even drink. I actually just had a drink an hour ago, but you know.
Yeah, that's wild.
That was a wild choice for me, but I had to because I had to bond with my coworkers. I had a training today.
You could have a soda.
I could have. Aperol Spritz is almost like a soda though.
That's crazy talk. Please do not listen to her, you guys.
I'm sorry.
Going through anything.
Guys, an Aperol Spritz is like, it's juicy. Juicy juice. So anyways, we have a very, very fun, exciting, thrilling episode for you. We have a guest on the podcast today, Harrison, head of hair, if you will. So it should be a really good episode. We had a really good conversation with him.
Yes, he and I met. You'll find out how we met actually very soon. But yeah, it was such a fun time talking to him. I am pretty much unwell during our entire conversation, so apologies in advance.
Me too.
You were fine.
And still. Lordy.
We talk about, living in New York, the struggles of adult friendships. We talk about the Tony Award nominations. And it's such a good chat. And I think it's great for anybody who's, in their mid-20s, late 20s, just trying to figure out life. Maybe not even
just 20s, 30s living.
Just going through life.
Outside
of like moving out of the house,
Yeah, honestly, like I know sometimes when we have people who are like in the business, we talk a lot about musical theater, but we actually talked a lot about just like life in general. And this is probably one of our most like non-related to reality and theater episodes with a guest, which it relates a lot to theater, but it relates, but I think it's relatable for everyone. So
there's no reality TV going on. So this is what we're talking about. But before we get into all of that, there is a TV show we do want to talk about, you guys.
God.
I don't know if you're watching, if you've been a part of this journey for the past, when did the first season come out?
I think it came out, I want to say
it was like COVID times, right?
It was COVID times. I want to say this has been like a 5-year journey, low key. I could be
something
wrong.
like that. Anyway, we are talking about You on Netflix.
Season 5, the final season.
Yes.
Penn Badgley.
Watched it all. And we went through a journey, and now the journey is over. And, we want to talk about it. So if you haven't watched it yet,
just skip this part.
Because
this
spoilers, major spoilers. But I'm so happy with how it ended.
I will say I'm content of how it ended. I thought, watching this season, I'm literally like, oh, he's probably going to die. At the beginning of the season, I was just, beginning of this season, I was like, there's no other way for this to end. He has to die. He has to be killed.
Yeah.
But then as the season went on, I was like, wait, that would be such a bad ending because he needs to suffer.
He does.
For what he did it. And that's essentially how it ends.
Yeah. Yeah. I will say at the start of this season,
slow burner,
slow.
I agree with you.
I didn't care about this girl, Bronte. I did not want to see him do his usual pattern with the girl at the freaking bookstore. I was like, this is so overplayed. Like, haven't we done this rodeo already?
We've done
but
it.
They were trying to bring it back home to, how it was in the beginning. And it really, honestly, I'll still be honest. I really still had a hard time getting through the whole season, but like the last couple
episodes were pretty good. Like, I mean, when the fire was happening and shit, I was like, my jaw was dropped. Like, you came in that was the episode I was watching, and I was just like, wait, this just got good, but there's only one more episode left.
Yeah.
But I feel like any kind of final season, we're just kind of watching to see the conclusion. Like we were pulled in by the story. It was good at first. They went on a little too long. The season where he was like in England and stuff, like I think all of that like
season,
did not need to happen. The only complaint I have is that they did a really good job tying in everything at the end, but not the arc of love. I know that love died, and I know that but that was like one of the best parts of You. Like the Beck obviously pulled us in, but like that season 2.
That was a really good season.
Was a good fucking season. Like it was so good. I still think of the episode where they're like tripping on some sort of, I don't know what drugs they were taking, but they were like tripping and you couldn't tell if like he was like, I just remember him having like blood everywhere. And I just remember thinking like, this is such a good, like, cause he's like literally a killer. So you don't know if he's just tripping and thinking that he killed someone or that he actually killed someone. Like that,
I don't even remember that.
That episode for me, I literally was like, that is just such good TV. Like that is just a good episode. Like that the arc was like great. So that's my only complaint, but I don't know how they could have like implemented it since she's dead. But
yeah. But I
don't know.
I think I mainly want to talk about the last episode. Although I do want to give props to, what's her name? The girl that was playing the twins.
Pitch Perfect girly.
That's all I know her as.
Yeah,
Pitch
let me get her
Perfect
name
girl.
because we need to put some respect on her name because she killed that.
Yeah, Anna Camp.
Anna Camp
was on another level. She did that by playing the twins. Speaking of the twins, oh my God, something I just remembered I really want to talk about is Sinners. I don't know if you guys have seen that movie, but I'm just gonna pin that because
put a pin in that because I haven't seen it.
There's also twins. Michael B. Jordan plays twins.
I love the twin aspect of this, and at first I was like, why are they picking an actor that like they're not twins? Obviously, aren't we past this Parent Trap, Lindsay Lohan shit? Like, can we move on? But I liked it. Yeah, I like the way she did it. I thought it was brilliant. Thought she was fucking amazing. She was probably one of the best parts of the season. Yeah, and her killing her other twin.
She had to do a lot of work to like have a whole conversation with herself.
Yeah, that scene
in the
when
mirror.
she's in the bathroom and she's just like
having a breakdown,
talking to herself, like acting like she's talking to herself,
talking to her sister, but it's not her sister; it's really herself, and she's playing like 3 different characters.
That was low key like an acting masterclass. It was so good. It was really good. I loved it.
Very nice.
Love that.
But yeah, so back to the final episode. I just wrote some notes down because I need to talk about first of all.
Yeah. Wait, how did the yeah. What are you gonna say? There were so many moments. Say what you're gonna say. I think you're gonna say exactly what I'm gonna say.
I don't know, but for me, I started cackling, laughing when she looked out the fucking window and he was sprinting in his underwear.
That was crazy.
Back to the house. I was like, not this man being a track star.
So like there was we talked about this like off mic, but there's been so many moments in this season specifically that it's not meant to be funny. Like it genuinely is supposed to be like irking or whatever. It's supposed to be scary or whatever it is. But it had me laughing when Henry threw that knife, y'all. I replayed that scene so many, laughing out loud, like just as you laughed at the running. I laughed at that too, but like the way that tickled me, him throwing that knife. Where did it come from? When did he get into the room? I genuinely was laughing so hard at the concept of they were like, throw that knife.
I don't know.
It's just so funny. It's just that,
it's the things that just take you out.
We didn't really care about this that much. So we were like unserious about it, but we were still watching it.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, like, he was sprinting and I was like, he's running so fast. His
cadence was crazy.
I was like,
his cadence was wild. And his arm swing was terrifying.
That
he said north south. He was like actually running like a good sprinter. I was like, this form is, come on, Pin Badgley.
But I also thought when he was in the woods, because the police, when they stopped at the gas station, he was like, watch out for predators, and
he had his hat on. I was like,
but he was like, I mean, bears. And so I thought for a second he was gonna get killed by a bear.
Oh Yeah.
I was like, wouldn't that be something?
Oh, there were so many good little nuggets. And like when she saw that little like contraption, I knew that was going to come back. Like the protection
that also
thing.
pissed me. I was like, why would you stab it and not pull it back out? Like, I would not want him to have any sort of weapon. I mean, obviously, you're like, I think, in the heat of the moment of it all.
Like, I'm gonna let that go. But
you can pretend to fake your death, but you can't. I don't know. You know what I mean? When she's in the water.
I did really love how they ended it. I'm like now thinking about. I still feel like I'm fresh off of it.
Yeah.
But like the more like we're talking about this, I'm like,
yeah. Also, I need to know. I don't know physics, whatever, in that way. But when he did like drown her underwater, she started to float down. But if you're faking your death, would you actually float down? Wouldn't you have to have enough water intake for you to finally start to go down? Because otherwise you would just float up.
Float up.
Am I crazy? You guys let me know. I don't know, but I was thinking about that and I was like,
that's a good point. I don't really know, but we don't know because he just like let her go and then he like pivoted.
But because I rewatched it because I was like, let me see.
Yeah.
And she was starting to float down, and I was like, "Yeah, that doesn't seem correct."
Also, whatever. I missed this part. Rewinding to the second to last episode with the fire.
Mm-hmm.
Also, love that Maddie fucking set that shit on fire. Fucking love that for her. Like, just. But I didn't know Bronte also saved the wife. I thought the wife died in there.
She didn't save the wife. I think. I was surprised when she was alive. Did you see it happen? Did you go back? You said to rewatch. Oh,
did you?
No, not that part. But I think she just got herself out.
Oh,
because she had burns on one side of her. So
yeah, like the burns. But I was just like, wait, are we not going to talk about that? Like, literally, she was like in the last episode, and I was like, she was walking about, and I was like.
Because when I watched it, it seemed like she tried to check if she was alive and she wasn't waking up. So I think she just assumed, oh, she's dead. I can't help her now.
Yeah, that's why I was like, wow, I can't believe Bronte just like goes and saves Joe, but like didn't save her.
Yeah.
But I guess she got out somehow. How? I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't really know.
That was one hole. I'm sure someone who's listening to this is going to be
they
like,
have
oh,
the
you
answer.
guys.
Sorry.
You guys, I'm going to probably look it up afterwards because I'm curious.
Yeah. Another thing. Oh my God, that pissed me off is when she was trying to get the phone to call 911 and she couldn't type the one. I was like, we are in a day and age where every phone has a Siri.
Call 911. Yeah. Like, I mean,
I'm sure the Android has some version.
That really pissed me off too because I was just like her acting like she can't do the touchpad.
Then somehow it did end up dialing and it got thrown on the ground.
That pissed me off. I was like, no, let's not be stupid because we all know that we would just hold down the side button.
Exactly.
And you would get it.
Exactly. That too. I was like, you can do the whatever
you can do
emergency thing.
You can do the hold. You can do that. You can do Siri. You can do so many things.
There's a lot of options here, guys.
That pissed me off. I thought the scene where he just loses his shit in the bedroom, I fucking loved it. Penn Badgley's just a great actor. It was
sad. It was sad when the kid was like, "You're the monster," and I was like, "That was the
when
nail in the coffin."
That was such a good.
It was good.
Good.
Although he started crying, and I started thinking about the twin being like, "We don't like to see men cry." I was like, "Yeah, I'm kind of getting the ick looking at him sob."
Yeah. But it was a great scene, though.
It was. That was mainly it. I was like, oh yeah, he's gonna get tons of fan mail when he's in jail.
It's giving Ted Bundy
for sure, and like the Menendez brothers. But they're a different case.
But also, I loved like that last scene when they're like in the forest and she's like about to shoot him, and she was just like, I forgot what the line exactly was, but it's basically like we cope with the fantasy of what you are because we can't deal with the reality of who you are. Something like that.
But with the reality of men.
A reality of men or whatever he was. Not whatever. It was an interesting, when she said that, I was like, wow, that's the whole, I felt kind of stupid in that moment being like, wow, that is the whole thing. But I just didn't put it together until she said it out loud. I was like, wow, I love that scene. That's the one I went back to watch again because I just wanted to hear that line.
Yeah, I rewatched the last line because I was like, oh, such a good way to end it by ending it with the title. He said, you know,
have to.
Maybe the problem isn't me, it's you.
Yeah, so in his head, I think he's obviously still disturbed, but he still thinks it's not. He feels as if he had to do all those things
Well, no, because I mean, what he said at the end made sense. There is a bit of a problem with society for wanting, for like writing letters to him, being like, "Yes, I want someone just like you, do all these things to me," and it's like,
and he's
as
like,
a
so maybe
society, we are a bit fucked up. Like,
so he's like, maybe it's not actually me this whole time. Maybe it's you. Ooh, fuck, that's so good.
And I was like, yes, you better clothes. I literally said yes at the end.
I was like, oh my God, that's it. I was like, they did a good job. Like, they gave us enough at the end. They gave a little summary of everyone. Like, Maddie's good. I guess she's just gonna have that baby. Like, they're just gonna keep pushing it. Like, that's crazy. But I'm glad that they could survive that. Marianne and Nadia, all those people, all those characters, justice for all of them, justice for Beck. But then, like I said, it left out Love and her family. Like, I'm just like, that's crazy, because I was like, literally the best, in my opinion, the best season.
Yeah.
Like, I know Beck is like the OG, like you need to have that OG context, but like, you're gonna include all those people from England that we didn't really care about and not include Love?
I mean, maybe it's something to do with her, like, I don't know, her contract or something. Maybe she didn't want any more part of it. I don't know. Like, you know how in Bridgerton, they don't ever bring up original dude anymore? Because he was like, I just want to be in that first season.
Oh,
nothing else.
True.
So maybe it was something in that vein.
Yeah.
I don't know, though.
Right. Yeah.
What was I going to say?
Daphne's man.
Yeah.
Oh, he was so
bad
hot.
decision on him. Because what has he done since? Dungeons and Dragons?
He's so
That's
hot. I can't believe he did that.
I had something to say. What were we just talking about?
Last scene.
Oh, I was going to say that because they have like the extra little bits where they go behind the episode on Netflix. I don't know if you guys have watched, but they were talking about the last episode and they're like, we wanted to figure out the best way to end it because, we didn't want him to just die. So they had like all the writers like say like what they think should happen, and then they like came up with it together and stuff.
Oh, nice.
And so
it
was just
creative team was good.
Very good. Very good.
Very good. Penn Badgley was, I think, pretty active in that last season too. So he like helped produce and stuff. So I mean, he did a lot with that show. The show he didn't want to do, and then same with Gossip Girl, he didn't want to do it, and then it's like the shows that he's like known for, he like didn't want to do originally. It's crazy.
Yeah, but he was like, I think I'm done with like anything with like blood or whatever for a long time. He's like, I'm set, and I don't blame him. But it was a good time. So I really need. I need some reality TV. They announced that Bachelor in Paradise isn't going to be on until July 8th.
That's about right.
And usually, I guess Love Island USA only happens in July, but because last year of the Olympics were the Olympics last year?
The Olympics were last year.
They moved it to June, but I'm like, they better not also be in July again because there's no Olympics in the way. I really think they should do it in June because then they won't have to compete with Bachelor in Paradise. You know what I mean?
I don't think they're worried.
I mean, no, but like I'm worried. Okay,
I'm worried.
Stop with all the TV shows coming all at once. Like when what were we watching?
What we were talking. I was like, wouldn't it have been nice to have Love Is Blind right now?
Yeah, like
why couldn't they drop that right now?
The perfect time.
There's something like The Circle, just something to keep us going.
There is some show that's like it has a bunch of Netflix reality people, but they're doing like it's more like competition.
I mean, this is the time that we should be catching up on Housewives. This is the time where I should be doing my homework and doing more Housewives and stuff like that. But I'm realizing I don't like reality TV like that. I like something with like a goal, a purpose. Like a finale at the end. Yeah, with that, it's just like you just got to sit and
that's why I think I'm going to watch this new thing on Netflix. It's called Battle Camp. So
I mean, the Black Mirror episodes, I don't know if anyone's watching them. They're pretty good. I feel like I kind of want to watch all of the. I don't know if I've ever like watched a full season of Black Mirror.
What do you do?
I just kind of like pick episodes. I've always been like that. If someone like is talking about an episode, like I'll watch that episode. But I don't think I've ever like seen a full season. Like I'll just hop around. There's some episodes I like have never seen, but they are doing the USS Callister, the Star Trek episode that they had a while back, which was one of their best episodes. They're doing like a sequel to that in this season. So that would be our first continuing story from Black Mirror. But episodes so far have been pretty good. The one that everyone's talking about is the first episode. And it's the concept is good. It's like basically a woman died. It's a woman died, and they were like, we can bring her back to life if you buy this subscription. And it's like really weird.
Damn.
So and then it keeps like the stakes keep upping. They're like, well, you have to buy premium to get this.
Oh, God.
And then she does like she has like ads. Like she'll just be talking and she'll be like, microphone. Like it'll be something pertaining to like what it is. It's so weird. It's so
you're
creepy.
saying it's Netflix nowadays?
Yeah, it's like literally Netflix. It's like literally that.
Gosh.
And there's like one part where she's like in the radius, like there's only a certain radius where she can do it unless she's premium. And they like went out of the radius because they were like going celebrating their anniversary, and they go out of the radius and she just like dies. And he like goes back and then she like comes. It's so weird. It's such a weird. Black Mirror is so good for that. Like I love.
Yeah, I'll have to watch it at some point. But yes, I did want to talk about Sinners. I really want to go deep dive. You really should watch it.
Okay, yeah,
it's good.
I'll watch it.
And it's horror. It's literally vampires and like, you know, killing and all that. But it's really cool because it's like set. I actually don't know the time period exactly, but back in the day, and Michael B. Jordan is playing twins, and they like want to open this juke joint. It's like during like the KKK era, and they were like in Chicago. They moved back home to Louisiana to open this juke joint, and they bought it from this dude who is a KKK member, and they like because they like stole money from Chicago to do this. Anyway, so they open this joint, and there's like a dude. They like cut to this dude who's like literally burning, and he like knocks on this like family's door. It's like just a husband and wife, and he like sees like they have like Ku Klux Klan stuff in the corner, and he's like, please help me, like I'm trying to run away from these guys, and it's like Indians, and he's like, I just need help to get away from them because they're hurting me, and they're like, okay, fine, you can come in. And then the Indian people like knock on their door, and they're like, is there a guy in here with you? And they're like, no. And he's like, well, you need to watch out. But like the sun's going down, and they're like, okay, we're out, we gotta go.
Oh my God.
And so
and that's where it starts.
It like starts with that, but actually it starts with like a flashback. Well, not a flashback. It starts with like the end of the movie.
Okay, love that.
With this kid who the kid's kind of like the main character. He like loves to sing. He loves like singing blues music and playing guitar and stuff. But his dad's like a preacher, and he's like, you don't need to be going out to like these juke joints and stuff, like because like it's like it's sinning and stuff like that, which is kind of why it's called Sinners. But I don't know how to explain it all, but it's just really cool
where can I watch this?
It's in theaters right now.
Oh,
I mean, yeah.
Wait, when did you see this?
When I went home.
Oh,
but everyone's been talking about it, and I was like, I need to watch it.
Yeah. I think Kayla was saying that tonight. She was,
yeah.
Okay, so I need to go to the theaters.
You know, they talk about like blues music and how it's like transcends through like different eras. It's like, and it basically it's like this vampire is trying to like take over these. It's just like I don't know how to explain it all, but just like
we just need to watch it, I guess.
It's just like giving the culture of Black people, but also the culture of like Irish people and like being oppressed and like all and you know, it's just like so interesting and
it's entertaining.
Lots of conversation starter things from it.
Oh, good.
And things to think about. Ooh. And also, a lot of people want to make like a sequel or something from it, but honestly, it's very good as like just a standalone movie. I don't really think you need to do a sequel or a prequel with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really cool. And the effects are really cool as well. And the guy, it's like this new kid, and his voice was like amazing. But yeah.
Oh man, you have me sold. I want to see it.
Anyway, that's enough about that. We want to get into the talk with Harrison because it is a long one.
And it's a good one.
Yapping.
We're just good Yappalinas.
So I hope you enjoy, and let's get to it, okay? All right, everyone, welcome back with a special guest. The one and only Mr. Harrison.
Hey.
How are you today?
I'm great. I'm doing better than you guys.
Yes.
And what's that supposed to mean? No.
It means I've meditated and done yoga this morning, and
we were fighting for our lives.
Correct.
Fighting for our lives.
That's so nice that you were able to meditate on this beautiful Sunday morning.
It was crazy. I've been bed rotting for the past 4 months, and so then I got back to the city.
You said 4 months?
Past 4 months. I mean, I don't wish January through March
on anyone
in New York City on my worst enemy.
Yeah.
It's bad.
hardest thing. I have never done it yet since living
really?
here. I've always been out of the city during that period of time. And so I've never had to do January through March weather-wise here, but also add on a true audition season to that. It was my first one after 8 years.
What?
I know.
Yeah, we got to dive into that.
Wait. And also you have to explain how you guys know each other.
You're so right. Yeah.
All right.
Let's establish our characters.
Let's
establish.
Whitney and I know each other from Titanic. The musical. Was that the right?
I don't know what tune that was.
I don't know.
I didn't know where we were going either. But I also don't even know anything about Titanic.
That's all right.
I knew nothing about it when I booked it. So
Titanic. God, I don't know.
Titanic.
Yeah, that's right.
With Evan.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Whitney and I met doing Titanic at North Shore Music Theater in Beverly, Massachusetts.
Yes.
It was a great time. We did it this last fall.
Wow.
And
fall, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
felt like it was just yesterday.
It was one of the best contracts of my life.
Truly
the best 4 weeks in recent memory.
Wow.
It was wild.
Why was it so good? Is it because it's the last?
Well, I love that theater, love the people that work there on the administrative side and the creative team, and the people who just run that place.
And that's rare.
Yeah,
it is.
It is rare to across the board to have that positive experience.
Yeah, to the people that are in casting, the director, all the creatives, and then have a pretty good cast too. You don't really get that.
Yeah, and so I did Sound of Music there the summer before, a year before. And
wait, what were you in Sound of Music?
I mean, a Nazi, unfortunately. I was Admiral von Schreiber, and I covered the captain.
Okay, but also, you'd be a great captain.
Thank
also,
you.
I love Sound of Music.
Here's the thing.
I know, isn't that weird for me to like it?
Loved it. Loved it. It was a whole. I did Sound of Music that year for 12 weeks straight because I did it at the Engelman first. And I was the same part, except I covered Max, and then I went straight to North Shore and did it for another month or whatnot.
That's like me.
Same part, but then covered Captain. So I did Do Re Mi for
you did that.
Oh my goodness.
A long time.
You listened to that.
Yeah.
You heard it and you were in it. Yeah.
Anyone who's dreaming of doing the Sound of Music,
don't.
I don't know. I'm conflicted.
Yeah.
I love that score, and that is my core childhood memory. Why I'm probably here. Julie Andrews and
Climb Every Mountain, baby.
Rodgers and Hammerstein, exactly. But the male ensemble in that show sing 2 notes. They sing goodbye at the end of.
That's gorgeous.
Sing 2 notes, and that's it. The female ensemble has a much better time. They get to be the nuns and sing all of the choral stuff and things like that. But really, you just want to be Maria.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
a kid.
Mm-hmm.
That's the real stuff.
That's why you're there. Yeah.
I had some really great actresses play Elsa, the Baroness, and that's a fun part.
The Baroness, I feel like, is good too.
Yeah.
Everybody loves being the villain. But anyways, did Sound of Music, and then I did this long contract with the Wizard of Oz on Royal Caribbean, and that was a 14-month contract being away. And
those contracts are crazy. I can't believe they're so long like that.
Crazy.
Wait, how long was it you said?
14 months.
14.
It was
1-4.
Specifically so long because it was a brand new ship, so it was a takeout cast. So I think they're normally 10 to 11 months, which is still a long time.
Yeah.
But mine was 14 just because
we had a long haul, but we didn't.
No, not at all.
Did you do a ship as well?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we met doing Disney Cruise Line.
Okay, got it. Yeah, so I was gone for so long, so that's why I think Titanic was so nice when we met, of just I left for the ship, and North Shore announced their season, and it was Titanic, and I did the math and looked at all the dates, so I was oh, that's the one out of the season that I'll be able to be back in time for. That's gonna happen. And I was so just I didn't even know the show that well. I was just felt like it was my world and whatnot.
Yeah,
so I was just
I'm just gonna do
it just feels right.
Mm-hmm.
And I would love to come back here and work again. So I did the whole ship. And I reached out many, many times and kind of put, I would say, the effort in, behind the manifestation. You know what I mean? I let it be known to the powers that be that I was interested and tried to send whatever videos I could or make all that stuff. And then it happened and we were there. And I think it was such a perfect experience just because like, it was just a traditional theater experience following a cruise ship experience. And so you just like need that for your soul sometimes as far as like, the cruise ship was like, while it was amazing to work with so many people from around the world, I didn't realize I would miss New York City actors so much. I think sometimes we have this like love-hate relationship with each other where we're like, we're too much or like yada, yada, yada. But really, when you take them away from you, you're like, oh no, but they're my people and they kind of understand my like vernacular and my quips and they get the humor and they can move at the speed that I'm moving at.
That part, heavy on that.
Yeah. So, and the show was super fun. I love a drama with people dying apparently. And then we met, and then now we've been friends ever since. Yeah. And I also think, I don't know if you guys feel this way, but it's just like, now that I'm older, it's just so much easier to sense if you're like, you meet someone and if you can just like, you just so easily drop and you're like, okay, we're going to be friends now. As opposed to being younger and needing to like suss it out and then, or like
feeling like you have to be friends with like everyone in the cast and like, or just like in the like.
Yeah, I don't know. Just getting past the bullshit of it all.
And like
I don't know how to describe it. Just yourself. Like you sense your core values, I think, in other people quicker the older you get, and you can sense if something's going to be deeper than I'm going to wait to see you. I want to plan to see you. I want you to be part of my life. I'm going to put the effort in.
That's such a real thing. I think I've been like talking to people about that lately. It's like, I'm just trying to make effort with the people that I want to make effort with. Like, that's it. Like, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. Like, you don't need to have a big circle of people.
Yeah.
The smaller the circle, almost the better.
Yeah. I have conflicting thoughts on it recently. I mean, I agree just in generally with that. Community in like New York is so much harder than I thought it was going to be.
It's so hard.
Which is crazy because it's one of the main reasons that I moved here was to find that and build it and stuff like that. But it just is wild, especially with what we do and how often we leave and the craziness of our lives. But so yeah, met Whitney and then by product met you because Whitney then recommended me for this cabaret that needed an extra person to sing in it, which is what you came to.
I was at that cabaret.
So now we're all here.
We're all here.
Talking into microphones.
We were talking into microphones.
Crazy.
So crazy. Wait, can we go back just a little bit? Because you said this is your first audition season in a while in New York.
Yeah.
Go back. What was your last audition season? Like in the winter in New York? Like, and how does it compare?
Never.
This is like your first
one. I mean,
because when did you move to New York?
I moved here August of 2017.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
August of 2017.
And then you never really had to experience. Well, that's kind of lucky.
Wait, I want to roll it back even more.
Yeah.
So,
but we need to roll
it back to like school. Like, where did you?
Clip notes. Here we go.
Yeah.
Great. So, got into the musical theater late. Always loved singing and being that kid who like danced at the weddings and all that stuff and did choir. But my family's very sports oriented. Yeah. So they didn't know ever to really put it in front of me or be like, do you want to go to the community theater and check out these programs? It just wasn't even a thought on there.
They just didn't think about it.
Yeah. Because it's just, they didn't know about it.
Yeah.
So it wasn't until high school where like show choir was a thing and Glee was coming out and changed not only my life but the entire zeitgeist. Yes. And
bumping that for real. I was such a Gleek.
I was literally a sophomore in high school, started prep show choir, and that was the season that Glee started. My sophomore year, they started show choir when I started show choir. They graduated high school in season 3 when I graduated high school. You
were there.
I was there. I was with Rachel Berry. Unfortunately, I was way too similar to Rachel Berry as well.
Too. And I love Rachel Berry.
I love her. Love her. You know what? Love her.
I'll say I still love her.
She knew her worth. and she wanted what she wanted.
And she got it.
And she got it. And
she manifested it.
And also what she wanted, I think, without like speaking to it, is she wanted community as well. It just was too hard of a thing for her, I think, to verbalize.
She was really an outcast. She went through some major bullying.
Yeah.
Let's not forget when that On My Own Les Mis was going viral and they were making fun of her. And I was like, why would you even make fun of her? Because she's hitting that. She's hitting that.
Yeah. So anyways, show choir was my like kind of first introduction to like getting the performance jitters out of me. But then choir teacher was like, you should audition for the musical my junior year. And so I started taking voice lessons with my like choir teacher over the summer.
Yeah.
And then I did the auditions. And then I got the lead.
Oh my God.
And what music?
White Christmas. I was Phil.
You guys did White Christmas in high school. I love the high school shows that people choose to do.
Oh, we always did.
Because didn't you do like Phantom?
Yeah, we did Les Mis and Phantom.
What the fuck is happening at these schools? We were barely busting out a production of Sound of Music. Barely.
Yeah.
It was bare bones.
It was wild. I don't know why musicals didn't register with me until junior year of high school. I guess I used to think The Sound of Music was its own thing. I didn't think of it as a musical. I thought it was just like part of like our culture. That is Julie Andrews being Mother. And they're singing, but it was so obviously part of the story that it doesn't come across as like, we're stopping to sing a musical number. So I didn't register that musicals were a thing, because even when you watch Disney animated movies, you're like, that's not a musical. This is just a Disney animated movie and there are songs.
Yes.
Like if you don't get sat down and told like something is a musical, I don't know if this is making sense at all.
Is it even a musical?
Is it even a musical, or is it something else?
Well, it's also different when you're coming from a background where you don't really, it's like why would people stop to sing and further a plot? Like, that is it's a crazy concept. Crazy concept, especially when you're surrounded by people who don't do that. I don't know. This is getting derailed. Yeah. No, but it's so on.
We understand.
I get it. And then we're like fighting to be in these things, which is so funny if you think about it. You zoom out even more and you're like, so I'm fighting to be in a musical. And when you really think about what a musical is, it's actually quite hilarious.
It's quite hilarious.
It's actually quite hilarious that we're fighting for this.
I was thinking about that earlier, but we'll get into that when we get into the college thing, just because.
Oh, are we going to really break down
let's see.
College?
We're not going to break down all of college, but just a few things. Just a few things. Okay, well, how do I want to say this? High school, got into the musical.
Yes.
Loved it. But it wasn't on my mind that like people did this. You could do it for a career or something.
How did you feel when you went on opening night?
Oh my gosh. Well,
in your lead role in White Christmas.
It was terrible until like watching. I mean, it was so much fun. I was like living my best life, but someone needed to show me video footage before opening night so I could see what I needed to hear how I was saying like lines and not talking like a person. And
I mean, you were what, 16, 17?
16, 17, yeah.
I mean, give yourself a break.
I guess. I learned to tap dance in, like 8 weeks. That was crazy.
Yeah.
And now tapping is that's right. It's White Christmas.
White Christmas.
Yeah. And then the next year my senior year, we did Crazy for You and I was Bobby Child and tap that whole thing.
Another tappa? Are you guys tappers in Nebraska or
what? That's the thing is, our show choir every year.
Tapping.
Did a tap number?
The finale was a tap number. That was what made like Lincoln Southwest Resonance. Shout out.
I don't know what that means, but I'm proud of you.
Our Resonance was the name of the show choir.
Oh, okay.
Varsity show choir.
Oh my God.
And Ambiance was the prep show choir.
Oh my God.
Like Vocal Adrenaline.
Yes. Well, no, it's a real thing.
I know.
Vocal Adrenaline is named after Visual Adrenaline, which is a school in Ankeny, Iowa, where they were our biggest rivals at Midwest Cup, which is the first kind of like show choir competition of the season. I can't believe we're talking about show choir.
No, I mean, show choir was my life when I was in high school.
She showed me this shit and I was like, so fucking for real. I was literally playing basketball and I missed all of this. I missed everything. I wish we had show choir.
Yeah.
I'm so upset.
Okay, this actually all ties in because show choir is my first dream. I was like, where has this been all my life? I'm putting all my musical energy into it.
Yeah.
And because this is before musicals are happening for me. So I'm putting all my energy into it.
Yeah.
And that leads me all the way to my dream in high school was to be in Big Red Singers, which was the college show choir at the University of Nebraska, Lincoln. They hosted Midwest Cup. That was the whole thing, is they hosted Midwest Cup at the beginning of our show choir season where everyone comes.
Yes.
And it was my dream to go there, like have a solo and make it to dancing front center, like be one of those couples. And literally, flash forward years later, I get into Big Red Singers. I'm suddenly like, I'm a freshman and I make it to like front center, which doesn't happen. You're supposed to like be on.
You're just like, you didn't even be in it. And let alone you're like in the front.
And then speaking of visual adrenaline, there is this family called the Churchmans, which I can't believe I'm dropping
There's
this
so
name.
much lore.
There's so much show choir lore, which is this family.
Your show choir people right now are like,
which is like a
freaking out listening
which is like, to us back then, was this like dynasty of show choir performers. There's these three sisters, shout out Cameron, Cortland, and Kiernan, and then there's two younger brothers that I don't know.
Sorry, I knew that was gonna be
okay.
I knew it was gonna be that.
And I thought they were incredible, and I knew they all graduated from Visual Adrenaline. They all went to University of Nebraska, and they were all in Big Red Singers, and they were all the front center girl and whatnot. So my dream was like to like be their partner and front center couple. Flash forward my freshman year, I'm suddenly standing there at Midwest Cup hosting. I'm front center. I have a solo. I'm partners with two of the Churchman sisters in the same like set of show.
Yeah.
And I'm just like out there, and I'm like, I feel nothing. And I like had this moment where I was like, oh
my God,
I have to get a new dream, because I've just like,
you were
either
there.
achieved everything that I wanted to already, or I just like had this moment of like, oh, Harrison, your life is like so much longer than this. So like we gotta think bigger than choir. Anyways, that's pretty much so just to get there, I did the 2 musicals in high school.
Yeah.
Didn't realize I could do it as a career. So I didn't do the whole like unifieds or know that there were like, I didn't know to go audition for Michigan and all these things. Or like
a BFA, yeah.
Missed like over my head. I was
That's
like,
okay.
You go to University of Nebraska, that's what you do. You just like grow up in Lincoln, you go to UNL because it's a great state school, Big Ten. It's a great education, in-state tuition. It's just what you do. You don't overthink it.
Yeah.
And so I went there, but then I was starting to really be like, oh, I gained information about like Broadway and people pursuing this as a career. And so then I looked into transferring schools and auditioning for like other programs. But my dad lost his job during college. So then financially I had to make this decision of like, what is it worth to me to get into big debt and go transfer and learn how to sing and dance some more, or finish my advertising degree here and then just move to New York eventually someday and like make myself a second education, find teachers in New York and just like get experience where I can. And so I chose to do the advertising degree, stayed in Nebraska, graduated with that. And then I graduated and I worked an advertising job for about a year out of school, because I was like, I've spent all this time getting this degree. I should probably see if I like doing this job, because it's going to be easier than being an actor.
Wow.
And I honestly loved it.
Oh.
But then I took a trip to New York and I saw a bunch of shows and I was just like, I'll kick myself if I don't come. So I came back from the trip, put in my notice.
Yep.
And then I moved to New York, and
this was in 20. So this was in 20. You said 2017. Okay.
Yeah. I had just finished a community theater production of The Little Mermaid with my star Turnus Scuttle tapping again.
Are you like a tapper or what?
That's the thing. They just like, thank goodness for this high school, like slowly introducing it through show choir, and then we did 2 big tap shows, and then
it comes up again later in your life.
I did it a couple times through college at community theater. So it was like a random skill that like, like when people ask if I dance or whatnot, like I don't like leap or turn or kick.
Yeah.
But like I say I can dance,
like
and
I can move.
And then I tap is like, but then it's interesting. You find some dancers who hate tapping, or it's like not there because it's like a different language.
It's so different, I think.
Yeah.
I feel like I feel like it's 2 different things.
But short story, long story made short. You asked my
No, I love the
audition
journey.
season.
Yes.
I was very lucky. I moved here, didn't know anyone except for the one girl that I moved. She had a sublet. I did summer stock one season during college, and she had a room available. So I moved in to her sublet.
Okay.
It was one of those classic, like, it's a 4-bedroom, but my room was definitely like that office.
Yes, it was the office
space turned makeshift bedroom, which whatever got me to New York. It was like $500 a month back in the day, you know. Yep. But it was like I lived with mice and bugs.
Yeah,
and
you were in it.
We went through 2 suicide attempts with a roommate that I did not know in this apartment.
Wow.
I had just saw. I was like, "Whoa, is this New York?"
Damn.
The girl that I like moved in with ended up dating my best friend from college, who was my roommate in college. They ended up like starting dating when I moved to the city, and then they both kind of like wrote me off as a friend. So suddenly, then I didn't know anybody.
Wow.
It was
and then you
crazy.
were really alone because that was your only real connection.
Contact in the city. So that's why I said like building community in the city is like so tough, especially if you start from scratch. Like I was so envious of at the time everyone who came from these BFA programs with at least a built-in like kind of safety net of like there's 20 of us moving to the city at the same time.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I didn't really get that either because my school wasn't good. So people didn't like move here. Like people I forced Kayla to move here, but that's literally it. So I feel that like you have to build.
It's hard.
You have to rely on honestly like the jobs that you did and like connecting to people like and you just hope that they live in New York.
Yeah, and I didn't know.
Just like I hope so.
I didn't know anything besides what I could research on the internet about like procedure of how everything goes here, auditions and whatnot. It was a really trial by fire. And I mean, my headshot when I moved here was with my mom's like DSLR camera in front of the brick wall back home a week before I moved to the city, and then I printed it out, you know, at Walgreens with the shiny paper.
Yes.
And it was just all so makeshift and humble beginnings. So then, which led me to posting on good old Facebook back when Facebook was like the place to be. And I moved to the city. I was there for about a month, and I remember asking like the internet, does anyone have any like New York City contacts who could recommend to me like headshot photographers I should go to or voice teachers or acting teachers? I was basically trying to be like
companions.
I was just like, I need all these resources to start this career to keep up the end of the promise that I made myself of like, okay, stay in Nebraska, do this advertising degree, but when you get to New York, get to work and make a second education for yourself.
Were you working as well?
No, so that was like...
So you were like really hustling.
That was the thing is like, that's my biggest advice. No one's ever asked.
Well, now we're asking.
No one's ever asked like, what advice would you give to young actors? Because I am still a young actor.
Yes, you are.
But
if you had to...
If I was on Broadway.com, which this is, I would say if I was on my interview with Paul Wintork when he's like, what advice would you give to young actors? This is it.
This is it. Listen up, guys. Listen up.
You don't have to move to New York City right away. I know you've just finished your BFA program, your BA, and you're feeling all trained and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But what worked for me personally, take it or leave it, is I had graduated college and I could have moved here, $3, 2 bags, 1 me, and immediately search for like the 3 survival jobs that people do to keep that momentum going and stuff like that. But I've seen it be a disservice to some people as far as like working themselves so hard off the bat that they can never find the momentum of like even going to they get tired before they even enter the audition circuit. So I told myself I was going to stay in Lincoln 1 extra year, save up all this money so that I could come here and at least afford myself 3 months of like just acclimating to what it meant to be an actor in New York City and like auditioning and stuff like that, especially since I had to make up for that like lack of knowledge that I didn't have from going to school for it. So I moved here with a good amount of savings to adjust to auditioning. And so I was able to go on a lot of auditions at the beginning. Circling back, I made this Facebook status asking for help.
Yeah.
High school theater director directs me to this guy, Arbender Robinson, my now agent. Hey.
Oh.
And he's like, I know this guy. I met him at International Thespian Festival, which is hosted in Lincoln, Nebraska, of all places, every year. And they send like Broadway professionals sometimes to teach classes, and these schools put on their shows if you're selected to perform at the festival. And anyways, so then this guy, Arbender, ends up like Facebook messaging me and be like, hey, Bob reached out to me. Feel free to send me your current resume and headshot that you're using, and I can give suggestions on kind of where to go for that. And I send my stuff, and he's like, honestly, this looks great. Here's some people I'd recommend. Yada, yada, yada. And then he's like, by the way, I happen to represent a small boutique agency, and I think this all looks great, so would love to take a meeting with you if you're interested in that.
Wow.
End up meeting, like, I've lived in the city for a month at this point.
Yeah.
I end up meeting him in a midtown, like, hotel lobby, and we sit down for about an hour and chat, and he offers me a space on his roster. And I think about it for like 2 days, maybe a day. I think I say yes immediately.
Yeah.
And one, I've been with them ever since Firestarter Entertainment, like 8 years ago when they were really small, and now they've grown exponentially. And the first thing they sent me in on, like a week later, was a Princess Cruises audition, and I didn't even think of cruise ships in my world.
Yeah.
It was just so tunnel vision Broadway musical
Mm-hmm.
theater. And then I went on a Friday. I got it within that day. And then I was at Blockheads. Rest in peace, Blockheads. If either of you been there?
No.
Was that? Oh my god!
What is that?
It's at that World Plaza section. It was a Mexican restaurant. A lot of people, actors, just used to hang out. They hang out in that area in between their shows and matinees and evening shows. But I found it at Blockheads, ran around the block, thought I had like booked my first job or whatnot, but they're like, surprise, surprise, you leave in a week.
Oh
and
my
I
God.
just I left as a quick replacement the next week, and it was terrifying, but I left. And then ever since, I've had long contracts, very luckily, either like I've been on like 3 national tours or regional stuff in between that has allowed me to be out of the city for long periods of time, which is why I've always skipped this audition season.
I see now.
I guess that's the long answer to that.
Well, no, it makes sense, but it's also like that's good. That's
it's
the whole
amazing.
point.
It's
Oh my
amazing,
gosh!
yeah.
But this is the period. It's been tough. I am experiencing what so many of my friends and colleagues have experienced, of like this continued spell of not working, or I do have something lined up, but even still, it's just a small job, and it's different than so it's just different.
You're in a different like era
for sure. And I like took my card this season because 1, you can, and 2, I kind of like logistically looked at it and was like, oh, in the old school way, I have all the weeks and stuff, like, which used to be such a, I remember in college thinking like, I'll never get 50 weeks, and like, how am I ever gonna get that
50
many?
weeks was crazy.
That was crazy.
And, like, and now it's 25.
Yeah.
And I was like, I still am fighting for my life.
Anyways, if you want to cut all of this, the long story made short is I was a Nebraska Midwestern sports kid turned Glee Club show choir aficionado turned musical theater.
Yes.
Extraordinaire.
Sure. And turned advertising job person, turned moved to New York. And now you're here.
Did you ever take a break? Have you ever taken a break since you started with musical theater? Oh my God. Am I striking
the universe
a chord?
is forcing one on me right now. That's what I'm trying to like, I guess.
When's the last show you did? Was it Titanic?
Oh, that's the thing. I did Wizard of Oz straight into Titanic. And then a week before I left for Titanic, I found out I was going to go do 42nd Street at Art Center of Coastal Carolina.
Okay, yes.
I left Titanic closing day, started rehearsal the next day for 42nd Street, and I did that all through the holidays.
Yes.
And I remember, now hindsight is 2020. It was a totally fine time. I played Pat Denning, which is just like, again, a part I wouldn't wish upon my worst enemy.
Oh my God.
When someone has to do it. And I was happy to not be, once again, going into my savings.
Yeah.
But when I went to Titanic, I had made peace with like myself that I was like, oh, I'll go home for the holidays. It's going to be so nice. I will take 2 months off before moving back to the city and attacking this. I just kept working, which is just something I enjoy doing. I'm lucky to do. But I guess just it's all catching up with me now a little bit. How
really?
hard I've worked, the good and the bad of that. Of just I've been gone for so long from New York for long extended periods of times, but now being 31, looking back now and being like looking around at my life in New York and being like, whoa, I don't even have a couch to call my own. I'm still living in a I've never signed a lease since I've moved to the city, which has been amazing for saving money, like when I've left. But it leaves you a little bit without a home base.
Home? What is my home?
What is home?
What is home?
Yeah.
Because then when you go home, you feel like you're actually not really home.
Right. So
that's such a weird, it's so weird. I feel like we often don't talk about that as people in theater. Like we're traveling you're traveling a ton.
We're just nomads.
We're really just nomads.
Yeah, and I've been struggling lately with this concept of theater people are amazing at getting so vulnerable so quickly because we have to make the show happen and make you like, especially regional contract, you've got 2
weeks, maybe
2 weeks to put a show up or things like that.
You're lucky if you get 2 weeks.
And we're just built that way. So I think most of us show our emotions on our sleeves and things like that. And it's amazing and I love it. But I'm having whiplash lately as far as like, I've worked with all these people, but then you get to the city and for some reason, once you get out of that show context, of course, it's not always the same and you have a few really good relationships. But this kind of like unspoken agreement we all have with each other that like we're gonna be really cordial and so friendly and lock back into that space in Pearl Studios and Ripley, but for some reason like we don't want to have dinner together or like just hang out and do nothing, but yet in the company housing at a regional contract we can talk till 4 a.m. about the existence of God and if your marriage is falling apart, but like suddenly we're out of that contract and we don't want to develop this relationship further. I don't know.
This is such a very niche and like what you're talking about is everyone who's a performer experiences exactly what you're talking about. And I think I don't know if I've ever even talked about it before. Yeah. I don't know if we've ever like said that. Like,
I feel like we've talked about it.
You have.
Yeah. But
it's weird. It's so weird because you'll be with the same person and the same group of people, but you take them out and you put them like, I don't know, like down the street here and it'd be a whole different situation from where you were all living together in the same house or whatever it was, Yeah.
And some people thrive on that of being able to just have these, quick exchanges and experiences and moving on. And they've really accepted the lesson of like, some people are just like, seasons in your life and things like that. Because I've known you, I've been changed for good.
I know that's right.
I don't know.
But it's like you're human.
I have feelings about it. I don't know exactly how to put it exactly correctly into words.
Yeah.
But we've talked about it a lot of just, I want to be really good friends with like a lot of people that I've worked with.
Yeah.
But,
it's just,
you can only meet people 50-50. I can't,
You can only put so much effort in. And if they don't want to do the same, then you're like, well,
then you're going to lose
That's
me.
fine. But then it's so weird when you're at a mental and emotional space to realize that like you're feeling these ways about people you'd like to be friends with.
Yeah.
But you clock them at Pro Studios and they're
delusional.
Doing the like, oh my gosh, we should get together soon and let's get coffee or let's hang out soon or something. And I am to the point where I'm being like, oh, well, I'm done with this audition in 10 minutes. So do you want to get coffee right now? Like, I'll be like, oh, well, what are you doing tonight? I'll say that so quick.
Good for you.
And like, sometimes the short circuiting that will happen, I see in their eyes.
They're like, oh my God.
It's wild.
They're like, oh, you thought I was for real?
Yeah. And so it's that hard line to walk as just humans, you know, of being polite, of course.
Yes.
And being just a weird line that we're always crossing in this industry of like colleagues versus friends.
Yes.
And I'm having difficulty. I don't know why riding that line of accepting that some people just want to be colleagues.
Yeah.
And then like, what is it as an adult now, making adult friends? You know, do we have to put it into words of like, I'd like to be your friend?
Yeah.
You know, do you have to verbalize it to let someone know what your intentions are? In the same way that when you're dating someone, you have to be like, I like you.
We are exclusive. I don't want you to see anyone else.
You know,
it's so crazy how
we somehow accept that with relationships, that it takes more communication than normal to get what you expect out of someone or to let them know what you expect. But for some reason with friendship and adult friendships, we don't expect that level of communication. We kind of all under this like unspoken agreement, like, oh, friends, just you figure it out. You feel the vibe. And I'm like, no, I think some people like, because we're not in school anymore and you get that just like organic day-to-day time to build a relationship. In New York City of all places, you have to be like,
you have to actually
I'd love to see you every week.
Yes.
And I guess I need to put it into words. Do we have dinner on Tuesday night at 7 if one of us doesn't have work? Or all of us are trying to save $1, so I just need to let you know I'd love to sit and do nothing with you.
Yeah,
but that's the only way the friendship's gonna build.
Let's go do this. You're done at this time. I'm around the area. I'll just come by. Just walk the park. Let's just do that.
This has nothing to do with reality TV,
no,
but this is my soapbox, and I'm taking full advantage.
No, and you should take full advantage of it because honestly, adult friendships are so tricky. Put it with a career path that you're doing, and then living in the craziest city almost in the whole world, and mix that all up. And that's what you're doing. So what you're experiencing is actually a lot.
It's wild.
It's also really relatable because like people are going to be listening to this and being like, yeah. Like, yeah, it is. It's almost so free that it's like, that it's hard to like compartmentalize and like lock in with people. It's like, oh, I can be friends with, I'm in New York. I have so many options. I've done so many contracts. I know so many people, but it's like, wow, but I'm actually like low key kind of lonely. Like I feel this like sense of like, I know I'm in the most chaotic city and I know I have people that love me and like my energy and stuff, but like, what?
Yeah. I'm trying to err more on the side lately though, because I hear you on all of that. But I'm trying to err on the side of just like, chances are if I reach out, they are feeling the same way. And most people will jump at a yes.
Yes.
But
what is it that you don't reach out?
I think people are scared to reach out because they're afraid of the rejection of like, you know what I mean?
And you know why? Because we're in a fucking business that rejects us every single day. So the last thing that we want is to be rejected for ourselves. You can reject me for my singing. You can reject me for my dancing. You don't like the way I look. I'm too short. I'm too tall. I look this way. I can actually accept that. But if you reject me because you don't want to be with who I actually am, wow.
I think that's why it's so hard, going back to what I said of just like being so vulnerable and giving people so much in short amount of time on these projects, and then to not hear from them, it feels as if they've rejected your true self, even though that's not what it is. The contract just ended.
The contract just ended. That's all it is.
There's this hanging sense of, have you just like ever talked to someone before and just felt as though when the conversation left and you left that conversation, you're like, oh, I just gave up too much of myself, or like I yapped and they didn't need to know that. And not only did they not need to know that, but I don't think sometimes
they were
I know this is about myself. I need to have more self-esteem and be like, not everyone deserves to know that about me. There needs to be a level of like a price of admission to your deepest thoughts and feelings. And you need to value what you have to offer and what you have to say and what you think about people and your point of view on the world. And maybe those don't just get given to like strangers on one-off interactions. And that's a random thought.
No, and I also think like when you do that and then you feel like you say something, maybe you're like, oh man, I probably shouldn't have said that, and then you leave the conversation and be like, oh my God. I think it's also what the person was giving you in that moment, because they made you feel like that. Because I feel like I've opened up to people quickly, and I haven't always felt like that, but like I think it's just based off the other person, and then we take it and we're like, I shouldn't have shared that, or I shouldn't have. But no, it's beautiful that you wanted to share that, and they just fucking reacted like in a way that they're not at that like I don't want to say level, because it's not.
No, anything could be a trigger. Who's to say whatever you said didn't just like, and that they're suddenly doing a projection back. I don't know. I just heard everything I just said about like the price of admission to your thoughts and feelings.
Yes.
And I am therapizing myself. But at the same time, what a shame to live life with a filter. Oh, how awful. I can't do it. So, every time I think I am, I don't. I think like
no filter.
Myself, no like filter. My like protection system wants to say, have a price of admission to your thoughts and feelings and whatnot, and have boundaries and all these things. But then like true me,
you don't want that.
Artist me who loves sitting till 4 a.m. with the people in company housing that's like shitty and all that stuff, like loves giving it all up, because you might not see that. As I'm learning, you like might not see them again, so take that take that or leave it. Just, does that mean you want to get in as much as you can in the limited time you have possible, or not give anything, I guess? Because then the flip side of that, I guess you feel more protected or something, but
I don't know.
What's the point?
Wait, I want to hear your thoughts on this, Whitney. I'm very unfiltered. I feel like you're very unfiltered.
Yeah.
I feel like you have a good boundary of like, you do both very well. Because like you can have a non-filter conversation, but then like I can't be filtered, but you can. I don't know how, like, where do you go to get there? Where do I go? Yes. Like, especially if you want to be just like, I just don't know. How do you do it?
I don't know how I do it. It's probably just childhood stuff where...
Would you rather avoid the potential conflict?
Yeah, I'm totally like conflict avoidant. Like, I'm very much like peace. I mean, I'm a 9 on the Enneagram. I'm a peacemaker.
Sure.
Like mediator, if you will.
I'm a mediator.
Do you know yours?
I think it was like a 2 or a 3.
Yeah, that sounds right.
I feel
one
like
of those. Those are very like
3.
Musical theater people are usually 2s or 3s.
Sure, I'm guilty.
I think I'm a 1.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, you're a 1.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, I more so associate with my star signs, but that's more so how I see myself.
But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like I'm very much the person I usually feel like I listen a lot more than I speak. So
that's healthy.
It is healthy.
So I don't know. I just feel like I take in what everybody's, and sometimes it's hard for me to like verbalize what I'm thinking. Like I'm feeling a lot of what you guys are saying.
Right now we're putting you on the spot.
I know. I think we're
like this
word vomiting, and I'm not sure it's coming out intellectual.
No, it is. It is. I'm listening and processing, and I'm like, yes, I agree.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, I would not have been able to put into words what you guys are saying as eloquently as you have. You know what
please.
I don't think it's eloquent at all.
I don't think it's eloquent at all.
I think it would be more eloquent if I described the exact scenarios that happen as opposed to my thoughts about the scenarios.
Could you give us an example?
So here's the example. I take responsibility that I've been gone on these long contracts, right?
Yeah.
I have been the one who's been away.
Yes.
As far as compared to my friends here in New York.
Yes.
They've been here. Their lives are like set. They have the whatever. I'm now, upon my return, I'm the wild card trying to find a way into their lives. I'll take the responsibility of like, this initial responsibility is kind of up to me to reach out, be like, I'm back. I would love to see you. You're in a groove. It's going to take some like effort on my part to find a way into your life a little bit. And then hopefully after a few chances and opportunities, they're going to like really solidify you as part of their life again. So I came back and I reached out a bunch, but I can only reach out 4 or 5 times trying to make plans without once them like responding, being like, I can't do Tuesday, but how about Saturday? Without it getting embarrassing that I've asked like 5 times and you're just hitting a wall. And so
that's what you're currently going through right now, Loki.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was more so very much the beginning months. I kind of like, which maybe the lesson was to let it go. To not look in the past.
Yeah.
I think just because, we make these friends early on in our New York City years, you think they need to be the friends for your entire Sex in the City life. But really, I would hope I'm different than I was when I was 22 and moved here. And I would also hope that they're different too. And so then if we're accepting that truth, maybe those different people aren't friends anymore.
Or maybe they're just not as close.
Yeah.
And like if you ran into them, it would be fine.
Yeah. And so I think
you feel almost like a guilt because you're like, we were so close then. Like, I feel as if I'm, you don't need to force, like you almost feel like you need to like have that because it was so good.
Yeah. And then I think, again, in our theme of adult friendships, someone always feels as though you want the blame to be on someone, whether it's you and you're a person who easily assumes blame. Like sometimes I've been like, oh dang, well maybe I dropped the ball while I was away, didn't reach out enough. With certain people, I'll feel that way, but then you also, as humans, we love to flip it on the other person, be like, well, it's on them. They didn't reach out when I was gone, or all that stuff. And really, it's just we can blame it on life and aspects out of our control. Of course, there is effort that we can take ownership of, but
wow. So, okay, here's a question.
So I'm searching in new avenues now. Is kind of like the theme of turning a new leaf in the spring of it all, if you will.
What have you learned the most during this like past 3 months? Maybe about yourself, about other, like whatever in this chapter. What do you feel like has been resonating with you?
What's been resonating with me? Life has to be about more than Broadway.
Yeah.
I love that.
Which we've always known for a long time. And I've let go of Broadway being the goal, the end goal, for a few years now. And that's when it finally kind of started to like give me little nudges of like it could happen. I was like, okay, cool. But
because you're still gonna have the same problems when you're on Broadway.
The same problem. I really thought about how unhappy I was these past few months, and I was like, how sad would it be if like
every single night
a Broadway contract came up and that's what solved my displeasure with life during this time right now?
Oh, or wow. I love what you just said. I love that. You're so right for that. Wouldn't that be
cool? Like, something that could end in rest in peace, Redwood, 127 performances. A
week?
What is that? And so I just really sat down in the season of life being like, why did you move to New York City? And yes, on paper, the number one reason used to be like, I want to be on Broadway, but it has since fully been reframed to, I would like a career in professional commercial theater. And I think reframing it and taking out Broadway out of that word is just helpful for me, at least, because working in commercial theater and just like verbalizing it that way just kind of calls it out on what it is a little bit more, as opposed to this like ethereal end all be all thing Broadway. Like commercial theater, the word commercial then in of itself, like it just, I don't know what I'm saying. I'm saying that it's more
about the
shallow than we think. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's just like, it's so many things out of your control. Like, I have so many friends. Like we're not on Broadway right now or something. Sure, but that's because there only comes so many commercial shows being produced, and commercial Broadway celebrates certain things in certain eras. Like sometimes I like get a little disappointed because I feel as though maybe I missed my commercial theater era where like a lot of shows were being produced that like I fit in those worlds of. Whereas like commercial theater right now, or at least the past couple of years, it really celebrated like youth. There was just like a lot of high school shows. There was Dear Evan Hansen, Mean Girls. Like we have Heather's returning. We have just like there's a lot of
outsiders.
Outsiders, and Which that's great, but it's not anybody's fault if there's just only your tracks aren't being produced on Broadway right now. So I moved because I wanted to be, in commercial theater. 2, big reason I moved to New York, I wanted community. So like, whatever that meant as far as like friends, love, all that. I remember so distinctly being a freshman in college and like Instagram was kind of becoming a thing. And I remember following chorus boys in Broadway shows because like I was coming out at the time and I saw them like on Broadway and in relationships and just like I really
looked up to that.
I want that to be my life. I want to be in love and I think it's taken time to unpack that. Like for many, many years I put all it under the umbrella of Broadway. I put love, even in friendship, all under this umbrella of like, if I get on Broadway, I will have so many friends across the like community. I'll be in love, obviously, with someone else in the community, and I'll have work. It will just be the secret to my happiness.
Is Broadway. And
so and it took a lot of time to unpack that it's not that at all.
Yeah.
Or you can achieve all of those things outside of this thing in Midtown Manhattan.
Mm-hmm. That's a wonderful bit of a nugget of information that you just dropped on us.
Yeah.
And to the people listening, because that's some people never get out of that.
For sure.
Some people really never do, and then they get there and they're in it and they're still thinking it while they're in it. Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy. And so I just want to...
So you have so much awareness
when Broadway happens, I want to meet it at the moment in the right
It's just another contract.
Space.
It's just another job. It's a cool job because you don't have to move. You can stay here.
It's the only reason I want it for the sake of just like a dream aspect at this point, but I really want it for the sake of just seeing what an extended period of time in New York City looks like.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what can happen in life in general. If I'm lucky enough to get a hit Broadway show that looks like the sales are going to be great and I can buy the couch finally and sign the lease, that would be amazing. I would want to get a dog, and like there are things that just, that's the reason for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and most importantly, I just had this moment later or recently where I just like the season of life is like, I just want to be able to call myself an artist and I want to be a really good actor. That's actually what I need to reframe it about, of just like, I want to be really good, or as good as I can be, as whatever my vessel allows me to be.
Yes.
Instead of just wanting some outcome, I need to fall in love with the becoming a little bit more. Yeah. So I'm searching for that in other avenues too. Like I've been writing again, which was such like a high school thing that I did, and
wait, that's lovely.
Picking that up, and
I think it's good to be doing multiple things. Like I feel like we think as actors and people in musical theater that we have to always be like there searching for that, but they're like, we can have other things that we're good at within the business without that's why I run. Like I just want to be good at something else. I just want to work for something else that has nothing to do with theater. And sometimes it like coincides and whatever, but it's really nice to have other things, other passions.
You have to
other passions.
Friggin' make it through.
Oh man. Oh, this is so, this is so
great. But I also want to be on Broadway, and I want all my friends to be on Broadway. I want that to be very clear.
No, but it's a good take. Like it's a good, honest take. You're so fucking real.
You have to widen the scope. You can't.
Yeah, I mean,
you have to realize that like it's still art this is art, and it doesn't. If it comes to being on Broadway, that's great, and if it doesn't, that's okay too. Maybe it's gonna take. You see all these people, a lot of our friends, they're on Broadway.
I know,
and it's like, why can't that? But it's just a different.
Yeah,
journey.
I'm just trying to really, I'm really trying to internalize seeing so many people of our generation and age, starting to be on Broadway and having their Broadway debuts, as just a hopeful sign of just like exactly, it was just a matter of time and place. We all can do it. We're all here. We're all sticking it out. I think people in my life are incredible at it. There's no reason anyone not to be on it. It's just a matter if it's like the fit or not. It's really, so I have faith it will happen for everyone who wants it to happen for themselves. So It's just outside circumstances, and it's just enjoying your life until that moment happens, and enjoying your life after it happens.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Period.
Yeah.
Period.
But speaking of all this Broadway,
Tony.
yes, we need to talk about the Tony
Let's do
nominations.
All right. So, how many shows from the nominations have you seen? Most of the have you seen a lot of shows this season?
Seen a lot of shows.
Okay, so you have some good opinions.
But like this season is cuckoo crazy. There's a lot of shows.
There's
I'm
a
gonna
lot.
have to do. One of my goals is over this next month is to kind of do a lot of the remaining work as much as I can.
I know we have
stuff.
like what, a month.
But as far as like I can only kind of speak. This is so bad because I want to be a real actor, but I can only speak a lot to the musicals. I think the only play I've seen so far is Oh Mary, which
everyone says it's good.
If you've seen it, you've seen it, and you know it's giving musical coded. But it just feels like it's made for musical theater people.
And it is.
And it is. The best musical nominees are Buena Vista Social Club, Dead Outlaw, Death Becomes Her, Maybe Happy Ending, and Operation Mincemeat.
Wait, that's for best musical?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're lying.
Why?
Why?
Well, are you thinking about, because there's a lot of revivals.
I know.
Also.
But I'm just, wow, okay. I guess that's right. I guess that's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just saw Maybe Happy
But
Ending.
none for Boop, none for Smash, none for Redwood. I mean, not nominations.
I heard Smash is bad.
Here's the thing. This is crazy.
Here's the thing. I love Smash.
I thought about
just
before coming here, as far as like another unfortunate part of our industry is they want us to be social media influencers. They want us to have followings so that they can put us in shows and things like that. But some of the things they want us to have, podcasts, be on TikTok, be Instagram, and have this following. But a lot of us, at least if I were to do that, my biggest source of knowledge and opinions and takes would be on musical theater. The caveat of that is if I spoke honestly about what we thought of all the art we consume and things like that, it's going to alienate. What if I want to work on that show someday and all these creatives and things like that? So I'm like, this is an unfair position to be in as far as wanting to have opinions in the real world and share them. But if you have anything, not even negative, but critical to say, like we should still be allowed to be critical of art without being negative.
Yeah. I mean, that's what there's a fine line when we're on this podcast talking about stuff,
100%.
I'm canceled. I'm canceled for so many things.
That's why.
But I live my life canceled.
But I think also as long, I don't know. It's tough. But I want to say about Smash.
Yeah.
Smash.
I have not. Yeah, I think everyone here knows that I haven't seen fucking shit because I'm poor, but
that's all right.
But Smash,
I saw it, and I'm at peace with that. I'm not in it.
Oh, you wanted to be in it?
I think that's the thing. Is like so many of us who watched
Smash.
the television show growing up were like, well, when it gets to Broadway or Bombshell gets to Broadway, I have to be in it. I want to be in it. And now all I'll say is I'm content with not being in Smash on Broadway.
It's okay.
I just heard that it's nothing like the TV show.
No.
And then they were going to make it like the musical from the TV show that was Bombshell.
Yeah.
And then they just did something completely different. And it's just gone somewhere complete.
I would have just loved to see
right from where,
Bombshell, the Marilyn Monroe musical.
That's what I see
full
everywhere.
Production value, full numbers. I think they were always afraid a little bit that would be an insane track for any actress to have to do. Because if you listen to the album as is, she would sing 11 o'clock number 11 o'clock number 11. It would be harder than Elphaba. It would just be crazy, especially if you wanted her to dance in a way that like Robin Herder is dancing. It would be insane.
Yeah.
But
Elphaba does it.
I'm more so interested in, I would love to have a conversation with Smash creators. Like, yeah, I'm just really interested in like, who do they think this exact production is for? Do they really think it is for people who watch the television show? And then if not, and if they're trying to appeal to a mass audience, I guess I'm really interested in how you think this current production appeals to a mass audience.
Did you feel like it was too mixed? You felt like it wasn't direct enough? You were like, who is this for?
Yeah.
You still don't know who it was for?
I don't know who it was for.
Okay. I actually really do want to see it before they leave. I know that they haven't announced it yet, but...
Okay, we can't talk about Smash anymore because it's not even nominated. So
it got nominated for Best Choreography, right?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah.
Go Josh Burgas. You slay. You've been slaying since the television show.
Yeah, you have been slaying. You have been slaying.
But yeah, the other option... Okay, I'll be so real. Buena Vista Social Club and...
Maybe Happy Ending.
Real Women Have Curves.
Oh.
Their promo is so similar that I thought it was the same
strategies
show.
And everything. Yes,
I did not realize they were separate.
It does look like the same show. It's like that same
color scheme.
Color scheme.
Yes,
for sure.
Same color scheme.
Which I'm sure they don't have the same advertising agency because they wouldn't have allowed that to happen.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that's not helping their case as far as like staying singular and becoming like something in people's mind, like different entities.
Mm-hmm.
To me, they like are really like just based on the marketing and color scheme alone. Well, which one is which? But that's also tough with like, I don't know. They're both brand new musicals. So
they are. I mean, I think I haven't heard bad things about it. I've heard good things.
Yeah, I want to see it. You haven't seen them.
No, those are two.
Those are the only two you haven't seen out of.
No, I
Dead Outlaw.
See Dead Outlaw.
Oh, okay. I guess we can't really speak on like who we think is gonna win, but
I can talk about Best Actress in a leading role in a musical.
Mm-hmm.
But wait, but if you had to guess,
Best Musical,
if I was like, you have to pick one, what do you think is the one that's gonna, not your opinion, just what you think?
What I think is gonna win.
The only one I've seen is Death Becomes Her, but
I think it will be maybe Happy Ending.
I feel like it might be maybe Happy Ending.
You think?
But I gotta go see Dead Outlaw.
Yeah, I can see it being maybe Happy Ending.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the leading ladies. Shall we?
Ladies in a musical. My girls.
We got Audra.
Typical.
Of course.
Slay the
in
game.
Gypsy. We've got Nicole in Sunset Boulevard.
Here's the thing.
You said I'm going in.
Nicole Scherzinger. If it's not true about the red hat of it all, just do us all a service, get on a live video
and just say it
and just clear the air. That would work so much better than some ambiguous statement through a press agent. I just don't understand how in this age of transparency and authenticity, it would help your campaign for the Tony immensely. I have a degree in public relations. I'm here to tell you it would help immensely some type of statement of who you voted for. I don't know.
Just say
unless
I think she voted for Trump. That's why.
I mean, if then that's the truth, then
get off
it opens
the stage.
Again a bigger discussion on the art versus the artist. And we live in such a charged society, politically charged society right now that I don't even know my exact answer on that.
Yeah.
But it makes me think back to, rest in peace, not actually, she's not dead, but Laura Osnes and the anti-vaccination of the whole situation. That was like years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yep. She's so out.
Yeah.
R.I.P. R.I.P. Where is she? I don't know.
Hallmark. That's where she is.
Hallmark and in Nashville, I believe. Mm-hmm. But it's fascinating because I still see people from our community who, of course, she is friends with from all those years where it wasn't ever at the forefront of conversation, who are obviously balancing this act of the fall from grace from Broadway because of that whole situation with the political landscape, and also balancing just like who she was as a person in their lives. I'm sure it's a whole nuanced conversation that Nicole could give us some answers on, and we could at least have one area of clarity. Next nominee, please.
Yeah, next nominee.
Megan Hilty, Death Becomes Her. Jennifer Simard, also Death Becomes Her. And Jasmine Amy Rogers and Boo.
Amy Rogers. Oh my gosh.
I mean, that's
also,
it's
I
good.
feel like people are upset because Helen Chen, is that her name?
Helen J. Shen.
Okay, Helen J. Shen.
I'm sorry.
Excuse me.
But compared to those people, those people deserve to be on there.
Here's also
I think
something
she was
that's
good, but I don't know.
Here's something that I think is also happening in Broadway this season. I think we're really celebrating an era of glitzy escapism Broadway musical theater. Both Redwood, haven't seen it yet, but from what I've gathered from the plot, and I have seen maybe Happy Ending, celebrate kind of some deeper themes.
Yeah.
I know Redwood's about grief and things like that, and then maybe Happy Ending has you questioning just like
everything,
meaning of life, and you're just like, just the value of your time here.
Yeah, it's just different. Earth. You're right. It's just very different.
I think it's just not the vibe of I want it to succeed and have a long life on Broadway. But as far as like what the Tony Awards commercially are trying to push as far as the lifeline of Broadway alive with money, I think the easier sell to America and society right now is like happy-go-lucky. Mm-hmm. Life might be shit, but on Broadway it's not, Yeah. And so I could see that's why it didn't fit the theme. Yeah. But excellent work by her. It's incredible. It's interesting, I will say, between her role and Darren Chris's, I think both are executed incredibly well, the performances. But as far as his character is concerned, there is more, I think, fun nuance and artistic choices to make with the fact that his model of the robot is like a little older. So he's playing all of these like robotic mannerisms and things like that. Whereas because her robot is a few models later and just she can kind of really act like a normal human. Yeah. She doesn't have to pull off, I think, so many interesting like eccentricities. Mm-hmm. But the performance is still beautiful.
It's a good show. Like she did a great job. I think it's just hard. There's a lot of there's a lot of good talent. Like it's just a lot.
I wish I could give it to who do you think is gonna win?
I mean,
and who do you want?
Mother.
It's so hard to choose because like when I saw Nicole, I was like, oh, she's going to take it. But because of what's going on, you're just like, are they really going to?
You have to factor that in because I think they're going to factor it in.
And then Audra, obviously, she's always amazing. But then it's just like, I mean, she's literally the most nominated actor ever, which is crazy. And I'm obsessed with that. I'm so happy. But, it's just like, because she's so nominated and because she's gotten a lot, it's like, okay, maybe you should sit down now.
Do they give
I'm afraid of that type of conversation, though. I think people are so easily falling into that in the same way of like they would about like a Meryl Streep or Viola Davis of just like, they're always good and just we come to take for granted the greatness that they're giving us on a, daily level.
I mean, seriously, she deserves it.
Audra deserves it for her reading of Hey LA, I'm coming your way. And I literally will play it for me. I'm obsessed. And her reading of Don't I Get a Dream for Myself breaks my heart. 1 second. Here we go. It's incredible. And then
I mean, yeah.
Like it's just, and then the heartbreak on this. Like, I'm sorry.
That gives me chills. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Like, don't take her for granted. Yeah, don't take Audra McDonald for granted.
I don't. I think she should win.
She carries the whole.
I don't even need to. I heard that.
Yeah. I think Sunset opened at an incredible time in the fall. They took that risk of where not a lot of things open, so you can hog the spotlight if you want and build a lot of groundwork of your campaign. If you're the singular sensation, I think the production is like directed in such an incredible aesthetic. Like Jamie Lloyd should win for Best Direction. But as far as like it also, the way it is staged, as cool as it is and as groundbreaking as it is, it highlights to me that I don't like Sunset Boulevard as a musical, because you are really forced to just listen to the book and the music because it's so stripped down.
Yeah.
So
that was my complaint
after all of these years, no disrespect, Sir Lord Andrew Lloyd Webber, but
sir,
we need to edit down our work a little bit. If it's existed for so long, I think we can have a commitment to making it better and better and better. And there's fat in that musical that needs to be trimmed.
Mm-hmm.
And really, she just has these, like, I would say 3 moments that come to mind. With one look, that whole sequence, her first entrance into it, is just like stunning, but also stunning for the sake of like the sound design is incredible.
It's truly the sound design.
Sound design is great.
Like, so many of us would sound impeccable with an incredible sound engineer.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the real tea.
That is the tea.
As If We Never Say Goodbye is amazing. I don't need the home note to be held as long as it is. I've got
but she did.
But we do. I get it.
Yeah.
And then the ending sequence in like the pure darkness at the end of the production is incredible as well.
Flashing. I love flashing, and I just love blood. It really brought me to like it was like Saw, and I loved it.
But people need to differentiate between direction and production and those effects and
that's very true.
Performance.
That's very true.
You bring up an excellent point.
Different. Whereas Audra is fully lit the entire time, carrying
that motherfucking
musical
on her motherfucking back, knees, and everything.
She never stops talking or yapping that character, and just like and
I need to see it. Like, this is really hyping me up to see it.
I splurged the money and I sat like 4th row center because I was just
I wish I saw it closer. Yeah, I was in the balcony, and I
do think as a production, the way it is directed and staged, it doesn't feel spectacle to me. It feels performance based.
Yes.
Again, I'm just like, for those musicals, I want to be up close.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I have never seen Audra live before. You can't guarantee when she's going to come back in a musical again. I remember like thinking like how I missed her the last time or something, of just like, she hasn't been in a musical since like Lady Day at Emerson's Bar and Grill. Like, you know, she sang as Billie Holiday, but like that was in a play category. And then before that, I want to say like, I could be getting this wrong, I'm sorry, but I think Porgy and Bess is like the last.
You might be right.
There's something else. I forget what it's called. I have to look it.
Yeah.
Look it up. But
wait,
she did that.
I'm sorry. Have you seen Boop? You have.
I have seen Boop.
You have. Okay, so with Jasmine.
Here's the thing. I saw the first day she called out, and I saw her understudy.
I heard Jasmine's like the best part of the show.
Who was incredible, and I was like heard that too. But I actually really enjoy the show, and I think it forced me to look because she wasn't on. I had to really analyze. Because she wasn't on, I had to really analyze the part, the role, and the musical.
And the whole thing is the show,
And one, the understudy was incredible, but I could see how someone who's like honed that part down to 8 times a week could be incredible in that role. It just allows for you to like shine. And then I watched her Today Show performance, and it just made me so reminiscent of like early 2000 Today Show performances when like Thoroughly Modern Millie would perform. And it was just full out like triple threat stuff. She just like, I think she's incredible. And she's giving the most triple threat performance out of the nominees.
True. Yeah.
Megan and Jennifer, I just wish we could like give them a duo Tony, because it's such a combined performance, but they're it's just they're musical theater goddesses.
Has she gotten a Tony before?
She has a nomination, I believe, for Noises Off.
So, I feel like she needs, because people were saying like
she was supposed to get something for something else that she was in, and they're like, finally they didn't snub her. I don't know what it was.
She hasn't been back in a musical since, this sounds so bad, but 9 to 5 was her last musical.
That's crazy.
It's only because in the zeitgeist we have Smash in our head as her as like such musical theater icon, and she has the long run in Wicked. But really, she doesn't have like that many Broadway musical credits, and then she did some plays there in the middle, or maybe just Noise. But Megan Hilty is giving just incredible musical theater comedy.
Yeah,
she's just, it's so technical.
I need to see that too.
And then Jennifer Simard, I have such a big soft spot for, just because she is such a true New York City theatrical actress, putting in the work for years and years and years and years. Ensemble work to featured ensemble to supporting actress. Just in that Hello Dolly revival, if you listen to the end of Put On Your Sunday Clothes, that like trilly soprano stuff, like it's her on that top line, just like playing Ernestina, I think, but in the ensemble for the rest of the show, carrying, like just doing the work.
Yeah.
And then I think A Death Becomes Her, out of the two roles, I think everyone really always thinks of, Megan Hilty's part because of Meryl and all that stuff. Not that Goldie Hawn isn't like incredible, but the stereotype, the archetype of like, what is the name of the actress or the part
that
Megan Hilty plays?
Oh God.
Helen and Madeline Sharp, and
Glad you got it.
is just so much more of like an archetype that you can play. And I think Jennifer Simard had to like really be so creative to make so many things her own and work in Death Becomes Her. She made like a lot of stuff out of nothing. I feel like she's just incredible.
Sounds like all of them are pretty like deserving.
Yeah,
I mean,
Audra should win.
I think I agree, even though I haven't seen it. I really do. Based off like
with
thinking about
the case that you've given us,
thinking about the performance, and we're stripping away the production, we're stripping away, like we're talking about the performance, her, like who is giving it all.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are giving it all, but they do have a lot of help with outside factors.
Yeah,
So.
I'd be happy for any of them.
Yeah, I feel like but like it should be, hopefully. Actually, no, I don't know.
I don't know.
I actually think that. I'm like, if Jasmine, or like, it would be nice. That's nice. All right, leading men,
Darren Criss, maybe Happy Ending.
Yeah, word.
Andrew Durant and Dead Outlaw. Tom Francis and Sunset Boulevard.
Okay.
Jonathan Groff and Just in Time. Jeremy Jordan and Floyd Collins. And James Monroe Iglehart and the Louis Armstrong musical.
James. Love that they went back and recognized him.
Yeah.
Even for a short run of a show.
Yeah.
He's always great. But I think it's gonna be
tough. Darren Criss, Jonathan Groff, Jeremy Jordan. Oh my God.
I need to go see Dead Outlaw just to see what that
what's happening
about.
there. Yeah.
Andrew is always great. I've seen him all the way since Head Over Heels. Yeah, I thought he was.
Is this the guy that was in Shucked?
And then he was in Shucked as well. So he like does really interesting work in these pieces that
Wait, who was he in Shucked?
He sang Somebody Will. He was like the like
that super high notes.
He was the one who like is supposed to get married to Maisie at the beginning. And he's like the one who lives in the corn place, and he's kind of the like corn hick who's like, I'm gonna fix everything, and you should stay here and be married to me.
Yeah.
And she's like, I need to see the world.
Yes.
Yeah.
The lead.
The lead. Yeah.
The lead, if you will.
So he just always does consistent great work in like interesting roles, and so
he's good.
This sounds like it will be a big breakout for him. I'm not sure he necessarily needs like. I need to go see it. Based on what I've seen, I think it's Jeremy Jordan.
Oh, okay. I know. Floyd Collins.
I need to see it.
Good.
Okay.
People are saying some people did not like it.
It seems polarizing. Just because it just seems like it's that polarizing effect that like stripped down theater can have.
Yeah.
The minimalist like take, and then like it's a complex score as well.
Yeah, that's what I feel like. If you don't like the music, or that vibe,
I give it to them for mounting it on Broadway, because since our dear Stephen Sondheim has passed, I think producers are afraid to produce complicated music unless it has Stephen Sondheim's like name attached to it. And Adam Gettle writes complicated, beautiful music, and I think we're underestimating audiences as far as like, I had to turn my brain on a little bit and just realize that it wasn't going to be spoon-fed to me, and I needed to just like really internalize everything that was happening in the music. And I thought it was gorgeous and beautiful, and it's a like story Jeremy is consistently good.
I mean, he's good.
I hate to say it like that. Or I don't hate to say it. I think
you can't.
I think I was afraid to think I was like we were all drinking the Kool-Aid for a second or something. But then I went and saw his last performance in Gatsby as well, and I'm like, he really is.
He's just that bitch.
That bitch.
He is.
He is that bitch. So like, I if he won, I don't think I'd be. I think it'd be like, yeah. But if Darren Criss, that would be great too.
And Jonathan Groff seems like he's doing a lot.
He's doing a lot of things.
Time.
Stephanie J. Block said on her podcast in a conversation with Jonathan Groff of like, if you break the fourth wall, you get a Tony nomination. Like if you are in a show that you're like the main character and for some reason you get to speak to the audience, if you look at the history of people, you're gonna get a Tony nomination. There's something
so funny
in the universe of like, great. It's the same way of like it used to be in the way of like in Hollywood, if you were a woman and like went topless in a major Oscar film, you'd get the nomination or you'd win. Like that's something silly like that.
Yeah.
No, but I love Jonathan Groff so much. Also, if you want to go on a date,
because you definitely will be watching this.
Yeah. Shout out Jonathan Groff. You're so charming
and perfect
in everything you do. I didn't get to see Merrily We Roll Along, but he won for that. So I think he's just doing it out of pure joy.
I'm excited for the Tony. Who's hosting?
Cynthia Erivo.
Oh, that's right.
We could wrap it up with like we could talk about this. Cynthia hosting. I need it. She is so cool and all that stuff and classy. But I need this moment to like, I need a Neil Patrick Harris level opening number. I need us to go back to like.
I actually need her flying.
I need her flying.
I actually need her
I need
flying.
her in that thing again from Wicked.
I actually need her up in the air.
Yeah. Bring in the cherry picker.
Ariana DeBose really did a poor job.
No, it's just the original song was just a choice. It was just a choice.
I don't think it's her. She's fucking talented. She's great.
People are writing that.
I didn't like it for what it was. It's the Tonys. I need Neil Patrick Harris. I need that.
Like Whoopi Goldberg back in the day. Incredible. She flew in as Mary Poppins and it was like, oh my gosh. Or even like some Rosie O'Donnell, just love letter more so to the art form is what that night is about. It can be
silly. It doesn't have to be serious.
I don't need it to be hip hop. I'm sorry. I don't need it to be the opening hour to be hip hop.
I don't. Yeah, and I think the last opening she did was too serious, and it just read as what is happening.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, we're trying, and it's really just musical theater at the end of the day. We have to be laughing.
But we
do have to be laughing at ourselves.
This is my big Tony Awards prediction.
Okay.
Cynthia will be hosting. Ariana Grande will descend in a bubble.
Yes.
And they will announce the trailer for Wicked for Good, and they'll go into commercial break, or then it will then play, and the For Good trailer will drop on the Tonys.
And I will die.
Which I think is, I don't accept at this point any other alternative because
that's true.
One, we're waiting. I think they're so brilliant with their marketing plan of like Wicked Part 1 was rolled out by now.
I know.
But that's because they had so much more groundwork to set before the first movie. And I love that they're pushing this one back. June is a perfectly acceptable time to drop it before the November release. And it's just like if Universal could do the favor to the Tonys and the Broadway community, which like this movie wouldn't have happened without the Broadway stage play first, stage musical. And drop the trailer on that night to draw more viewership to the Tonys. If it's on CBS anymore, I don't know, is it, or do they just have it on like Paramount Plus or something?
No, I think it's
probably
on
both.
Okay.
Yeah.
But draw that viewership to the Tony Awards, which means draw more eyes that wouldn't normally be watching the Tony Awards in theater. And let's drive business back to theater and whatnot. I just think Wicked and that production team should be trying to pay homage more so and build up this community. I know like Ariana would want that. My girl, single-handedly out here trying to resurrect.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be great.
This play.
So when is the Tonys? It's June. What is it? June 14th or
June 8th?
Oh, June 8th.
Mm-hmm. It's a coming.
It's coming. Wow, this was so great. These are such good. This is good.
Great. Okay, one last question. Who do you think is going to win Best Musical Revival? Floyd Collins, Gypsy, Sunset Boulevard, or Pirates, the Prince musical?
Sunset Boulevard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It will.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wait. What's your favorite reality TV show?
Oh yeah.
Listen, it's not my usual cup of tea. I know. Sorry, podcast.
It's okay.
But
say it.
I did get into it with The Traitors this year.
Okay, that's
my roommates
great.
were watching it, and I was like, you know what? I wanted to come back and be involved in some group watching type of activity, and it was so entertaining. I'm in. I need to go back and watch the earlier seasons as well.
Yeah.
This season was really good. Last season was good too with Phaedra.
It's so camp. I loved it so much.
And
Danielle
you will be watching again?
Insane.
Yeah.
Love Gabby as well.
Gaggy.
It was a great time. Oh, sweet baby Dylan Efron. If you want to leave your woman, I will also go on a date with you.
We're all trying to date Dylan Efron.
American sweetheart.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Love him.
Well, thanks for coming to my soapbox.
Oh my God, no, thank you.
Oh my gosh.
It's so fun.
All the things that we discussed today, we got through, so I feel actually lighter.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I feel good.
Yeah.
I haven't determined yet.
I'm not even hungover anymore.
Good.
You just got it right out of me.
Knocked that
Thanks.
right
We're
out
still
of you.
struggling over here, but I
oh
feel
my
a little bit lighter.
Okay, you just need some sunlight. These curtains get open and then
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming
I'm
on.
so
the
happy
pod.
to be
having
on.
me. I'm so happy.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for being on here,
Bye.
Harrison.
See you
Wait,
later.
do you have anything to promote? You want to promote
Oh,
your
yeah.
Instagram or anything?
No.
We can
Oh
promote
wait,
it.
my Instagram? Yes, sure.
Yeah.
Promote your gram.
I've waited so long for this moment.
We'll put
I'm
it up here.
at Head of Hair, HARR, because my name is Harrison. New York City. I know a lot of you like to come up to me and be like, oh my gosh, Head of Har. No. My name is Harrison. The joke is Head of Hair because I don't have any. So that's my Instagram. I
follow him, give him some love and support.
do have a show coming up. I just can't announce what it is yet.
Mm.
That was so pretentious. But I feel
you do have something
special.
coming up.
Yes.
I'm gonna play a little dream role this summer, so that's very exciting.
Yay.
And yeah,
All right.
Yay.
thanks.
Oh my goodness, what a talk that was. Harrison, it was so wonderful having you
Oh my God, you're amazing.
I hope you guys enjoyed it.
If you made it this far, you're a fucking real one. And I want you to go outside and scream out your window, reality showgirls, hey sir, you pull out your phone. That's what I've been doing lately. Every time we go out, I make it a point to tell someone about the podcast. So obviously,
tell somebody.
If you are listening and you love us, give us some support on all forms
the
of
social media platforms.
Instagram, TikTok,
YouTube.
Threads, YouTube. I don't know why I said the Threads before the YouTube,
Threads is not
but
really.
it really does help us out if you subscribe, turn your notifications on,
like the episode on YouTube, on everywhere. Rate us 5 stars on whatever platform you're listening to it on. And we really need it, you guys. Please, we
especially
need some traction
during this dead time too. Even if you have suggestions about things you want to hear us talk about, we hear it and we deliver.
Indeed.
But yeah, that's all we got.
That's about it. So
yeah,
we'll talk to you guys next week. Yeah.
Bye.